All right. That fixed it. We're just opening everything back up. I had to do a full reboot. For some reason, it does it once in a while. The Elgato Game Capture HD will do stupid stuff. And in this case, it decided it wasn't going to work this morning. So now everything's working the way it should. So let's go back and let's talk about this map. Um, so this was level 17 that we started working on last week. And in fact, we can show, I want to show the difference in the remake of map of Sargoth that we finished last week. So let's open the Sargoth level. And I know we've jumped all over the place. We've got gaps here because I'm at a different point than somebody else who needs maps for the same adventure. Um, so this was how we started off Sargoth the first time. In fact, it's even worse than that. We ended up breaking it down into 4 sections. And because I'm not using, I don't have this set up to pull in the assets that we used the first time. So I think I'm just going to pull up the JPEG and show you just how unattractive it looked. But this was the redo of Sargoth here. And we uploaded this. What? This was the Reduce Our God. This was the redo of Sargoth. Let's try that. That we finished last week. And let's get rid of our trace image. So, I mean, overall, the map looks pretty nice. It's not bad. It's the textures look good. The rocks, everything that we put in there. Um, you know, here's a real good example up here. You know, this is supposed to be like a burial chamber or a crypt. Now, the original maps that we did, we broke it into 4 sections because of the size. I've talked about this before. There's an 8,192 pixel limit inside of a lot of built-in, you can't even call them GPUs, but built-in graphics like Intel HD 6000. Some of those, they all have built-in pixel limits. And if it goes above that, which this goes out up to, I think, 11,100, something like that. So it's well above. What will happen is your players will not be able to see the textures and the descriptions that you're giving. So what I ended up doing was creating the maps like this. And we'll go up and just look at the crypts. So there's the crypts. They don't look awesome. There are issues there. And I think I put a door there. I think I need to take that out. That's a secret door. I need to fix that map like ASAFP. So I guess that's something I didn't pay attention to. And then like this is the there's like a torture area on the map. Um, and this was using a lot of default assets in here. Um, So it doesn't look really great. And then it really shows up when you go to like this. This is using the cave tool, and it doesn't look real nice. This is the secret door right here. We need to get rid of that. And then I need to put that glyph in there too. And I'm going to re-upload this. I didn't expect to come in and fix an error. It happens. But that's a pretty big error. It's the elevations. Did I not bring the glyphs in? I might not have brought them in. Oh, it's in there. So why is it not showing up? That's goofy. Tags, let's look up glyph. Helps if you spell it correctly, doesn't it? There we go. So we'll put that there. Let's downsize it. Didn't expect to do this. But we have to be careful now. I wasn't looking for secret doors. I was trying to get this done. We actually have somebody who was using this map or the old set of maps, and I didn't want those actually used. But if we take a look, I mean, these are your cave walls and everything. The little torture chamber looks nicer. I mean, as nice as a torture chamber can. We have our pile of guts that's supposed to be there in the middle. So everything definitely is better on this map, except for the secret door not being correct. So let's go ahead, and that's something, if you use this map, you're going to have to go in and create the secret door inside of your mapping software, or your virtual tabletop. I'm going to do a quick export. See, look, it's bigger on both dimensions, 9200 wide, 11,300 high. Anybody with built-in HD graphics, they're going to have some problems. I'm going to export. Yes, I want to replace it. And I always do 3 exports. I do a PNG, a JPEG, and then the DD2 VTT file, which is Dungeondraft to Virtual Tabletop, which allows you to bring all of your walls over. And let's face it, that is one of the big reasons to use this. If you use Foundry for your virtual tabletop, you definitely want to do that. All right, so we need the JPEG. We don't need a double JPEG titled. See, it was going to do that. We need to fix something too. Now, it calls it a universal virtual tabletop, but I'm not sure if it works on every virtual tabletop, bringing the walls, doors, and everything over. It might not. I stopped using Fantasy Grounds a while ago. Um, so it's possible it'll work in there. But I imagine there's got to be some kind of mod or something to bring in to make it work. I mean, there's also, I think you can use it on Roll20, but again, I think there's a mod you have to use to make it work. I stopped using Fantasy Grounds a while ago. Um, so it's possible it'll work in there. But I imagine there there's got to be some kind of mod or something to bring in to make it work. I mean, there's so I'm gonna real quick. You can use it on Roll20, but again, I think there's a mod you have to use. Re-upload these. I stopped using Fantasy Grounds a while ago. So it's possible it'll work in there. But I imagine there we go. Some kind of mod or something to bring in to make it work. I mean, there's so I'm gonna real quick. You can use it on Roll20, but again, I think there's a mod you have to use. Re-upload these. All right. Now everything's right up there. Just love when that kind of crap happens. All right. All right. So now we're good. Everything's right up there. Tell you what, last time I tried streaming on just love when that YouTube. Kind of let's talk about this a little bit. It ended up where it was really jittery over here. And I think I've got my settings so that they're working right. Everything looks fine. Um, but I really want this content on Wednesdays to be over here instead of on Twitch. I mean, I could always stream it on Twitch and then load it over to YouTube the next day, put the VOD, have it go over here. It ended up where it was really jittery, but I'm not going to do that. I think I've got my settings so that they're working right. Everything looks fine. And I think, there we go. All right, everything's fine now. So, I mean, that's the big difference between the maps. I mean, if you take a look, we've really improved what we use on these maps. Instead of that sloppy looking web work that we had, everything looks better there. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can put in these. You can either just, I mean, some people may opt to just put the map outline and describe the rooms. I do really like to be able to have players go in and see what I describe. Um, Helps with the immersion and stuff like that. It's as close to being immersed in a VTT as you'll get, I guess. So might as well make them look good. So let's go ahead, get back to the map that we need to work on today. Let's just do open recent. It makes life easier, isn't it? So that's Sea Deeps. And there we are. So I'm not sure how many secret doors we're going to have. And the doors can be a little wonky in here. She's misbehaving. Tell you what. I think I can trigger this here. So if they start misbehaving, we'll pop the cam. You can see how bad the puppies are. All right, so we're going to start laying doors down. I know this is a double door, but here's the issue. Right here you can see the square sizes that we have. These are 10 by 10 squares. Doors end up being 10 feet wide when you do this. If these maps were smaller, we could do them to actual scale with 5-foot squares. We can't do that on this map because we also have constraints of the number of squares you can do inside of Dungeondraft. It's 128 by 128 limit. I think this is like 9,600. Let me take a look. And we can show you, we'll show you the map that we started with on this. This is level 17 sea deeps. Stop. 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 So sea deeps is with 10 by 10 squares, right? 57 by 76. So that would end up being 152 high, which is outside the 128 limit. There's the original map we're starting with. And so we've got to work within the limits that are thrust upon us to be able to use the software that we're using. Now, there could be mapping programs, or your other option would be drawing it inside of Photoshop or any graphics program, doing it manually that way. You could do that and create a really nice map. But again, you're always going to run into the pixel limits. And then, but not the square limits that you have inside of Dungeondraft. So Dungeondraft is really ideal for smaller maps. And honestly, that's what you're going to have for the vast majority of maps that you're going to need in your game, are smaller maps. This Mad Mage is 22 levels of insane dungeon crawl that'll take you the rest of your life to play. So, but that's what my table is running, and that's what we're going to do. So I think what I'm going to need to do at this point is move this over to my drawing tablet and start fleshing out some of these details. We'll take care of all the doors first. And then we're going to start fleshing out things like the pits and everything else that's in there. So we'll pick a random door. It doesn't really matter. We used something that looked a little bit rougher on the last map we did. I'm thinking we can probably put in something that's maybe a little nicer. Or just a... Do we want to put a stone door? Let's take a look and see the descriptions here. So I'm going to pull this over on this. And we'll see if we can pull that up real quick in our D&D Beyond. I still need to pull my pop-out chat over here so I can see chat. Make sure it's working. There we go. All good. So I'm going to pull, tell you what, I'm going to do something I normally don't do. I'm going to put my OBS up there. Let's keep this down here. Make it, then I'm not looking up all the time. It really doesn't like it when I click certain things. All right, Sea Deeps. Let's have a look at. Sometimes I'll give you general descriptors and say like all doors are stone or all doors are what. Mounted on both sides, every door in the Mind Flayer colony, burnished plate of dark alien metal. That doesn't matter. It's not describing the doors. Each door plate is imbued with psionic energy. That doesn't help. Talks about the Mind Flayers, what dwells here. So let's go to room 7 and see if they give us a general idea. Stop. Two Githyanki and Knights and Warriors, blah, 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 are here. There's an Archgate in there. So it's not giving us the description, so we can do what we want. I don't know that that's a great idea, but we can do what we want. Close some of these windows out since I don't need them anymore. So what do we want to do then, since we can be semi-creative? And here's another thing that you'll have happen that's a little bit goofy once in a while. I don't really want the wood doors. I think we're going to want something. See, it's not dropping right there. Oh, it's going to make life difficult for us. See that? We can kind of get it to pop up. Sometimes it'll work better that way. There we go. How does that look? Looks a little warped, doesn't it? But I think we're going to have to do that. That's fine. So that's going to be our doors. That's fine. It gets a little temperamental. On a real long run, it always works well. You know, like we could put it anywhere here, but these short ones, you have to be exact on your placement or it doesn't like to be placed there. And that's why a lot of times I'll make the secondary wall like here, where that door is going to be placed, a little bit longer. I think our sake, we're going to put that there and do a single door. It's a double door, but we're going to do it as a single. Technically, it's as big as a double door. All right, let's make sure we're going to need to put some stuff there to indicate the block. Come on. There's our door there. So we're not running into any secret doors, are we? You'd figure of all people that Gith would have a bunch of secret doors. There we go. Get that centered. Same thing here. We'll get that centered. Works. We're not seeing any indications of secret doors anywhere. So that's good. We're going to need to put some type of walkway across there. All right. These stone hallways won't have doors. That does. I think we've gotten all the doors in, but we're going to double check and triple check. Come on. There we go. I think that's it. Let's turn that off. Do a quick save. All right, so our doors are in. And when we built this, we placed, this is like prison area. We placed these things in here. Hopefully I didn't just make a big mistake. Yeah, we have block light. So you have two things you can do. These you set up because they're prison bars, right? Set them up so that they don't block light. And as you can see, like with our light tool, you can see where the light goes through. Now, over here, we have no light leaks inside the walls. We missed a door. And the doors do what they're supposed to do. And I do like to test and make sure that we don't have light leaks. Because what will happen if you see a light leak, your players are going to see as that goes through where their field of view goes. So you got to make sure that those things all work. All right. So now We have our doors in. I guess the next thing we're going to do is, and this is where it just gets a little tedious, but we're going to do it. I like to see. We haven't done anything in here, so this is the only thing it's showing that we've used so far. I think we want to look for rock. It could be rubble. See, it says it's small, but it's not. So what we'll do is we scale this down, and I used to go through and use all these different rock formations, and I found it's kind of silly. If you do it right, these things will spread out, and you won't really be able to tell that you're using the same rocks. And here's the thing, I don't worry that much. You need to stop. Problem is, she hears people out there, and she's like, "They are eating. They will give me food." Um, she chose not to eat her breakfast. She's like a bad kid. Yes, you are. She's somewhere between 1 and 2 years old. I mean, she was. Yes, you are. She's a hobo dog. Yes, you are. Who they found on the streets. You know, she was pregnant with puppies, all that good stuff. Got herself in trouble being a hobo. And she's still got a lot of puppy in her. She's not like the other dogs who are just happy being in here. Are you? No. Would you like me to? I will grab you. You can't sit on my lap while I'm mapping. I'm pretty sure what she wants is me to have a lounge chair in here so she can just sit on my lap like she would out in the other room. What she really wants is me to install a doggy door. Fuck. I just fucked all that up. Oh, shit. Look at that. User layer 1. That's all fucked. That's a big error. That's a massive error, the amount of clicking we just did. This is going to take a while. And that's the other thing you have to be really careful of, because what we're doing is trying to place this under the water layer so that the rocks look like they are underwater. And I generally limit, how many items. I can probably bump it up now. I allow to stay in memory to delete. And I'll show you why we've got to take this off. So, see right there, that's the rocks sitting above the water, right? if we would have done it correctly and do it below water on the below water layer, there's your rocks under the water. And that's what you want. So we just wasted probably about 10 minutes of mapping time that we have to spend deleting our error. And you have to be careful when these dotted lines are up, it's either your walls or your floor texture. Now, if we would have laid it out the way we normally do, we could just drag and drop this arrow, and we'd be able to select all of these things that we dropped. But because we're going for a better look on our map, it does complicate things if you make an error like that. I might go in settings and see. If we can bump up the how much we hold in memory in case we do something like that again. What did that just do? Damn it. Yep, this is when things get silly. You really do have to be cognizant of what you're doing in this program. And remember that there are layers to worry about. And if you're, you know, there are times when I forget that I'm working on multiple layers, and you'll make a mistake like this. And let's be honest, if if we had used some of these other layers, what I may start doing in the future is stuff like the walls, the textures and stuff, place them on even higher layers. I would be able to come in and select these out real quick and easy. You know, set the walls, set stuff up there so that they're not on a layer where if I make a mistake, you know, maybe just stop using user layer 1 for anything. Um, so that if you just go in and start setting stuff down, and you're like, oh, I put it in user layer 1. Okay, we're good. We can get rid of everything on there and it doesn't matter. And the thing is here, I really hate doing something that just wastes time when I'd rather be productive and get it done. But the fact that I worry about this all being right, it's going to happen. We're getting close. Then we'll set the layer and we'll click like crazy people. And let's face it, I'm sure there's going to be somebody who's like, I kind of like the rocks being like that. Hey, if that's your thing, go for it. But I'd kind of prefer that they look like they're underwater. Now, let's be honest, we probably could ignore all that because if you look at our texture here, it does indicate pebbles and rocks on the stream bed. So maybe for this map, let's let the floor texture we chose do the work for us. I think we can let it go. Let's do that. And normally I wouldn't say let's do that, but let's do that. And if we have something that we see that looks like it needs to be underwater, then we'll put it there. So we need to find like a footbridge, and I think that's going to be our path tool. Because I know we don't have something specific that looks just like a footbridge. All right, so we have this walkway. That doesn't look nice. We kind of need a stone pathway, don't we? And we may not have that. Ashen walkway, wood. Stairs path. See, it's going to look like stairs if we do that, right? Does not look like a bridge. Tell you what, let's look at 12C. All right, central quasi-magical turbine powered by thunderous underground river that flows through it, water entering. See, none of that is even indicated on the map. It's talking about gold-plated metal conductors, bolted to the sides and bottom of the trough at 10-foot intervals. The energy, the water is transferred to conductors used to power the apparatus in area 12G. So there are 4 arching wooden bridges. All right, I thought it would be stone, but it's not. So we can do that. Let's take a look. Yeah, that looks sloppy, so we're not going to use that. So I think what we've used before, and I'm reticent to use it, is something similar, this wood path. Let's, is there a bridge that doesn't look like crap? I think we might want to pull the castle assets in. I think that might have what we need. And while we're at it, those are the backups. It's the undo levels. Let's go to 100. I think the castle assets might have what we have. I think it's all working now. So I'm hoping the castle assets solve our issue. Those are stairs. tell you what, that would actually be perfect. But I think our other option, we have another option we can do. So we could go like this. We can place this there, right? Then we'll go to our path tool. Yes, we will. We'll go to our path tool and I think we should have some type of railing we can put down. Let's see. Yep, we can do that. So then we'll go here. Let's make it a little thicker. There we go. Looks like bridges. Easy peasy. And here we were all worried about that. Now we need something that indicates flow of water, right? See, now here's where we can place our rocks. See if there's any other rubble areas we can lay down. I always like to lay out all the rubble. Get that done. I've seen a lot more. All right, so these things here, we're going to read the descriptions, but I believe we need to make this look like a dip in the floor and then figure out what's on the bottom. All right, so that's good. So we'll go through room by room. So area 1. Natural tunnel descends from level 16 before splitting in several passages. All right, I'll be right back. I have to eject her because she's being a jackass. Yes, you're being a jackass. Now she's attacking the wife. Better than our ears. All right, so characters who navigate these tunnels occasionally come across a body of flumps slain by the Githyanki. I don't have that, so I'm not going to put them in here. Water drips from stalactites that cling. They're on the ceiling, so I'm not putting those in either. 3. There's a gaping pit roughly 50 feet long, 30 feet wide, and 30 feet deep. Its sides slope inward so that the floor of the pit is 30 feet long and 10 feet wide. There's a statue of a figure shattered at the bottom of the pit. We can put a shattered statue down there. But let's go ahead and move some papers here and get our drawing tablet up. We have our own technique that we've started using for these pits a while ago. Hopefully that didn't mess with the stream too hard right there. What the heck? All right. Yeah, we've got everything moves when I do that. Our old setup, we didn't have this issue. But after my computer died horribly a week ago, I had to rebuild the PC. The only thing I didn't replace was a graphics card because, you know, if you tried to build a PC lately, you know the graphics cards are either ridiculously expensive or just not available. And I refused to pay some scalper jackass to get a card and put that pay 2-3 times retail. That's not going to happen ever. All right. So we need to create the pit right in here. And the way we've been doing that is this. I kind of like to use the path tool. There is like a cave ridge that I use. Let's see. And on this little screen, I always have to find the damn thing. I think it's up above these krenels. Where the hell is it? Ridge Cave. I think that's what I need. Let's take a look. That's not what I need. There it is. Cave Cliff Thin. Cave Cliff No Shadow. That's what we want. See right there? It gives the indication of an edge as well as that dropping that we want to see. So we're going to take the width down till we're happy with it. And we're going to layer this up. Yeah, that'll work. So generally what we want is for this to transition in and out, and then we're going to do a whole lot of layers to make it work right. So let's see if this, there we go. And with these path tools, you're going to find that there is a specific direction that you need to go in. For what we're doing right here, we need to go clockwise in order to make that ridge come out on top. I think we're going to do this. We want this to fade on both sides. Let's come on, where's my double click? There we go. Let's undo what we just did. So if you fade it, it will work a little bit better. And I find I generally like to do it that way because it matches in on the end when we're done. So we can kind of overlap here. That do it? Yep, that did it. So like right there, we've got a little bit of a fade here, and it's not really noticeable that it's overlapping. And then for the next several layers, we'll do those underneath so that we don't see this ridge line over and over. Now for stuff like pits and all, this is the technique that I like to use. You may find something that works better for you. I'm just making sure. Darn it. There we go. That we're not leaving any gaps here. And I think there's a gap right there. Maybe. Go. We just need a few more. Nope. We'll start it inside. All right, so that looks like a pit descending down. We just need to figure out what we want to do with the bottom here. So perhaps, and I'll tell you what we did do with a lot of the textures that we laid down. Now you really can't tell, but so we could still see the trace image on everything. These textures we laid down technically below water on that level. And what that allows me to do is still be able to see the map where I'm working with it. And then everything I lay on top of it, it starts layering up. What I could have done is placed this stuff on layer 2 or 3 and then lay whatever I plan to do here. But we're just going to put it all on layer 1. But we'll set what we're going to do here under, and it should work fine. So let's get that done. So to indicate that that's down deeper, we kind of want something darker to be there. I don't think this is going to... Yeah, it'll make it a little bit darker, won't it? Since it is sitting on a layer above. And that path will go right on top. So let's take a look without the trace layer and make sure it did what we wanted to do. It did not. I might have one thing a little bit darker. Or we could do it that way so it looks different from the cave floor. Let's do that. We just need it to look different. All right, so I think that's all for room 3. We do need a broken statue. So, objects. Broken. Honestly, we'll take any broken statue that's humanoid in nature. And that's not default graphic style. Let's see what comes up here under broken. I think what we're going to do, how many of these cracks do we need? Oh, we need a ridge right here. So let's draw that ridge out, then we're going to come back there. Path tool. I think what we want this to do, transition in, will be grow. We're going to fade over there. So we're going to do that. And then we have that established. So we can lose the grow, go back to fade. We'll start on the middle. Ah, damn it, I do that every time. Can't get impatient with this stuff either. Sometimes it just takes more layers than perhaps you want to lay down. And let's be honest, we don't have to have absolute fidelity to the original map. All right, so there's our ridge line. And we're good. Is that the only other ridge? Yeah, we had 2 in there. So we're done messing with that. I think we can go back to our other monitor. Hopefully it doesn't mess things up. So actually I'm going to unplug this one. Get this down and out of the way. So I definitely like having the bigger monitor for most of this. 15.6, the XP pen is awesome. But I tell you what, it would be a lot more awesome if it was at like 22, 23 inches. Definitely save our eyes. All right, now we need to look for a statue to put down in there. And here's the thing, they say it's 10 feet by 30 feet long, right? It's about 30 feet long at the bottom, but it is nowhere near drawn as 10 feet on the map that they originally did, or as we did it, since we did stay close to the lines. We colored within the lines. So what are you going to do? I think we're going to throw some rocks in the bottom down there too. Put those under. Ooh, really? It's not going to go under that? See, I can't get it underneath there. That's where, if I would have used layer 2 or 3, and then I'd be able to put these things down. See, it doesn't let me go underneath. All right, so let's look for our broken statue. All that remains of a female dragonborn adventurer who was turned to stone and placed here by Hallister to lure other adventurers to their doom. So this does have a pit trap in it. Is that really the only broken thing down there? So I think this is what we're going to do. Watch this. So we're going to put that. Torso. ahead and we're good. That's awful big, isn't it? So we only needed to go like from here to here, not as big as it went. So I think we need to scale this down. So we'll do that. It can be spread out more, but we can tell if it was put together. It would be about 6 feet in actual length. So we're good. What's going on there? Okay. All right, so area 3 is done. This, I always like to place something to indicate that's blocked off because that goes to the expanded dungeon that you really don't need with a 22 level dungeon. I swear they do that to drive me crazy. Personally. I mean, my party is a group of completionists. We play 2 hours every week on Wednesdays because that was our Adventures League session. And, now we're playing online, which honestly, I don't think any of us plan to go back to a store anytime soon to play D&D. And I mean, they were slow in the store. We actually are a little bit faster playing using a virtual tabletop, and we're still like 1 3/4 years into this, and we're only down to level 7, I think now. We hit level 7 last week. And let's face it, it's a bad DM that would try to push their party to play through anything quickly. So they play at the pace they play. They have fun doing it. You know, they don't quit. And, if I always tell them if there's an issue, you let me know and we'll make changes. But, everybody's having fun. Has been having fun for years playing at the same table. So they are just very slow. But I think even a fast group at 2 hours a week, it would take quite some time to get through this. I think that's all the expanded dungeon areas, right? That's a dead end to the expanded dungeon, and that's expanded dungeon. All right. So let's go to room 4. Let's find it. Secret door in the south wall is carved to resemble natural stone. There's our secret door. See? And we didn't put a door in. We didn't screw that up. So we need that little S symbol. We don't want it too obvious there. I'm going to put it down this way because sometimes the walls transition over to Foundry pretty well. And this is just there for the DM to remember to put a secret door in here. But sometimes it'll kind of go outside the lines, like a little kid coloring outside the lines. So we don't want them to see that S. I mean, technically, I could put it like here, but I'm afraid that this isn't going to come in very well. You know what I mean? So we're going to put that there. And then up here, we know there's a trap, but I can't put something there because the players will be able to see it. So there's nothing else to this room, just a bunch of flumps. I am sorry about that. Ah. Tell you what, I've been getting more sleep than normal and I'm still tired when I get up. So that's just goofy. All right, so if we go to area 5, which is here. Water seeps in this 30-foot high cave through minuscule cracks in the ceiling, flowing in rivulets down the walls and disappearing through natural drains in the floor. Lying in alcoves in the east are corpses of 10 Gith who perished fighting the mind flayers and their thralls. So I need 10 corpses. Now this will be the problem. And there's always a minuscule problem there, right? So that's what the Gith look like. Basically elves without shoes. And, you know, bit fugglier. So I think we'll pick a random corpse or several corpses. And we'll need this scaled to 0.5. I need more corpses. No one should say, let's be honest. So I have a better corpse selection. Let me find that. I think it's in here. That's not good. I might have to restart this to get this to come in. Maybe. All right, that's much better. More bodies, more better. Let's take snap off. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Different dead bodies everywhere. That's the key. You lay the same guy that looks identical all over the place. Doesn't look very good. I mean, it just takes little changes, and at least it looks like 10 different dudes died. Corpses. So that room's done. 6A. Jesus. 4 Gith warriors. Oh my god, there's so many corpses in here that I don't have. So we're just going to lay some stuff down. Bodies everywhere, that's fine. God, it gets even worse. 6B. Severed heads. 7 decapitated mind flayer heads with limp tentacles are mounted on pikes in the middle of the cavern facing the double door. You know what we're going to say? Use your words. Because I don't have mind flare heads. And this place has a lot of shit with like mind flare heads in it. I'm going to be honest. Torches burn in iron brackets mounted to 4 pillars that support the 20-foot high ceiling. So I need pillars. Now your pillars will not create wall lines. So you'll need to do that inside of your virtual tabletop. And what I usually use inside of Foundry, I think it's terrain walls, and that does what I need to do. Under and 1. And as I always say, you will light this inside of your virtual tabletop, not in here. It doesn't come across well. So where's this arch? Embedded on the east wall right here is a stone arch. All right, so for this, I always use a headstone. And this is why. You can just take that, embed it there, and it indicates that arch. All right, 7B. Embedded in north wall is a stone fountain with a semicircular basin. We have that. See, we have this, which I don't like. What I normally will do is this. Doesn't say how big it is, so let's scale it down a little bit. We're going to do that. And then I don't like that sitting there. And I really can't match this background, but I'd much rather, damn you. I'd rather do that than have it sticking out the back. I don't know why, but that's what I do. So there's the fountain. Resting on the floor are 2 glass lanterns with continual flame spells cast on them. So we need a pair of lanterns. Doesn't matter what they look like. there. One there, and that should light the room. Seven C has a lantern in it. Put it there. And it just has 2 people in here. Let's see, room 8. 8A. 210-foot long Neolithic. Neothelid is curled up in the middle of the cavern waiting to be fed. Wow. Uneven ceiling. There's a ledge. And that's it. So you just need a giant freaking thing in the middle of the room and you'll place that. So, I mean, that's what you're going to put in there. A gargantuan. A B. In the middle of this room is a pair of standing stones topped with a lintel, carved into which is a symbol of an arrow. So this is another arch gate. So that answers our question. We don't have a lintel. We have plirths. Or plinths. Plirth. What the freak? So what we normally do for this is find a pillar that we want to use. But this is over. We'll scale it up. Do it like that. And see, that's the issue right there. See, that's showing on level 1. This is what we're going to do to make this work. Why didn't it save that thing we just used? Damn it. Probably because we deleted them. So we're going to put this on layer 2. We're going to experiment. We're going to put this here. that where we found it? Was it in the columns? No, it was in the pillars, right? So we kind of went like this. Oh, hey, how's it going, Motivation? So let's see if this actually works. We're going to do that. We're on user layer 2, right? And it still doesn't let us do what we thought we could do. That's fine. So we're going to do it this way. I wanted to experiment there. Take that down in size, and we'll try to match the other one to it. There we go. So put that there. And we dropped it. We dropped the ball. There we go. So there's our arch gate there. Kind of matches the description. And I think 8B's done. Dead end cave, 8C, nothing in there. 9. How many rooms does this thing have? $20. This is a small one. All right, so here's room 9. What's in it? Please, no more bodies. All right, 2 stone pillars, glowing veins of crystal stand on either side of the hallway. And that's it. So we need pillars. And it's saying glowing veins of crystal. I mean, we could use one of these, right? Because it kind of has the glowy stuff on it, but it doesn't look like glowing veins. Or do we just use a pillar and not care? Well, let's do a fancy pillar. We'll care. So how about that? Let's snap to grid, pull it down to 0.7. Let's do 0.7. So 1, 2, done. Room 9 is done. 10 is the jail cells. There are prisoners in there. You'll need to place those. It's like there's a troglodyte, veteran, and a grimlock. So you'll need to place those randomly in there. Nothing else is in this room other than the prisoners and the cells. Room 11. So this room, embedded in the middle of the east wall, is a stone arch carved with a keystone. put that there. There's a statue in the middle of the room, thin bearded, white haired man wearing a robe covered with eyes. So that's a Hallister statue, probably. But what we're going to do. So, what we've been doing for the ones that don't match any particular description is putting a statue base in there. And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to turn the shadow off. All right. So this is where we need to figure out, because we're at room 12, how to make it look like this water is flowing. So how are we going to do that? I believe we have a path tool. I always have to look around to see some of that stuff up there. That big ass 4K camera is big. All right, so I think we have something, but I'm not sure. It says foam won't do it. Nope. I have an idea. I think this might work. So let's transition out, shrink, fade, right? Do the width here. See, look, it's not shrinking on the back end. It looks like it's going to, and then I double click it and it kills the shrink. That would work. See, it doesn't want to do it. And I think that's like the only path that pulls that. Unless it's just not editable that way. Yep, none of those can be edited that way. So that's not good. We're just going to leave it. So 12A, 12 is freaking done in the water areas. A through E. Let's look at F and G, see what's in there. So there are 3 stone chairs facing the door. One, two, three. 12G. Middle of the room sits a swiveling crystal throne shaped like a cocoon. So I just need a throne. So there's screens on the wall. We're not going to indicate that, or embedded in the wall. Put that there. And that room's done. (12H). Curved chamber has flat ceiling. Ettins are in there. Nothing else. 13. 13A. 2 chests carved from Zirkwood sit atop low stone tables against the wall of this room. The west wall. tables. We need 2 chests. What? 13B. Oh, yeah, that's the secret door. Okay. That's all that's in there. Then 14. Resting in iron brackets along the curved walls are 15 coffin-sized bronze cylinders with lids of transparent crystal. Each capsule is tilted at a 45-degree angle, connected to metal floor panels with thick copper wires. 4 mind flayers carrying dark sheets of metal, inspecting the capsules, 9 of which contain unconscious humanoids. Wow. Let's see, bracket will bring bucket, because we probably don't have that. Um, 'Trying to figure what asset pack would have something that resembles what we need here. I mean, we could go with the Iron Maidens. 15 of them, right? Five, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's not perfect, but it gets the idea across. And let's face it, people are going to look at that and be like, what is that? They won't know it's an Iron Maiden. It's all good. Unless they watch the stream. So 15. Room contains 20 empty side pods in various stages of completion. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 19, huh? All right, that's good. 16. Water seeps into the hall through cracks in the arched 20-foot high ceilings, filling a 40-foot long stone table surrounded by stone chairs as big as thrones. So, Table chairs, doesn't say how many, we're good. 16B. Empty other than the Durgar that are in there. Middle of the room, 2 Mind Flayers, grip top of 4-foot tall, 3-sided crystal pedestal with a fist-sized diamond floating 1 foot above it. Piled against walls are scores of rusty iron anvils, forged and abandoned long ago. All right. It's not scores, but it's a pile of anvils. Three-sided crystal pedestal. I have an idea. Might not be a good idea. All right. Not happy with it, but it's good. 16C. Oh, that's B. Fuck, I fucked this up. Oh, so close. Well, at least when we bumped up to 100, we were able to get most of them. This room is the room that just has Duragar in it. This is the room with all the shit in it. There you go. There's our scores of anvils piled up. Hmm. I have an idea. I don't know that it's going to work, but I have an idea. It's not going to work. Pretty sure we don't have. I didn't think we had a triangular table. So we can go like that. Nope. You know what? We're going to leave it like that. Then we're going to put the gem on. We're going to call it Dun Dun. That'd be about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a foot across, so that works. 17 crumbling bridge, 18 walls of this room streak with slimy gray mold. That's it. 19 unguarded area. 19B shoreline cave. And we're done. Can't believe we're done. All right, so let's turn off the trace. Take a look at our rooms. All right, so there's that. Bodies. More bodies. Done. Unbelievable. Could be the quickest completion of a map ever, but this was a lot of empty zones. So, you know what? It's all good. I like quick. Quick is good. Quick is good. Once we've exported the PNG and the JPEG, we'll take a look at them. This map will fit and not give any problems either. So detail holds okay on the JPEG and PNG on this one. I think we're good. And we really don't have to place any rubble and stuff on the bottom of this because of our choice there. All right, awesome. So we will upload this to our Patreon. You can download it free. Don't have to sub or anything. We'll upload this afternoon. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it right now. Because if I don't, I'll forget. All uploaded. All good. All right. Let me take a look at something. I like it when they're simple. I mean, I don't mind. Here's the thing. I don't mind even the ones that are a little more complex. It just takes more time. This is the one we did before. The Crystal Labyrinth. And this is a funky map because it's like 2 sections. You're in the thing, then you can head to Stardock. And there's a lot of stuff in here. Wait a minute. What happened to the tables? My tables are gone. What the hell? That's room 27. Let me take a look at this. I'm pretty sure that has tables in that room. I think it's a good thing I looked. So I haven't published this one yet. So let's see what we need to fix because that's not right. So room 27. Six 10-foot long tables, each set with 8 chairs. Wow. 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 I got to say it. Wow. Wow. How did I do that? Let's see if there's anything else goofy in here. Somehow those tables disappeared. Good thing we checked. Yeah, that was messed up. All right, so we're good. I better export these before I forget. I usually don't make silly mistakes like that. Yeah, I really didn't like this map. I mean, they gave descriptions of stuff that really could not possibly fit inside of the map. Um, but it is what it is. All right, so let's take a look again. All right, so that one's done. And this one was another one where there were a lot of rooms here that didn't have much in it, so it wasn't too terrible. Um, Sargoth, that was really detailed. And I think the next one I need to do to stay ahead of my group is level 10, I want to say. Yeah, Dwemercore was kind of a fun map to make. But if you notice, I think we may end up stripping this out and redoing this section. Um, just because we ended up using that cave digging tool. So I may do that. We'll see what we feel like doing. But all right. So I think we're going to call it since we finished our map early. Um, as always, we always like our mapping days. Get to do some fun stuff. And you got to figure out how to get some of this stuff done so that it doesn't look awful. But that'll be it for today's stream. Gonna get off early, eat some lunch, and I don't know what I'll do the rest of the day, but everybody have an awesome day. We'll catch you next Wednesday.